The real estate market is ghetto. And this is what I mean. It literally is so unpredictable right now that most agents are just grappling, trying to hold on. You have our buyers who want to see a house 20, 30, 40 times before deciding that they're just going to rent anyway. Then our sellers are frustrated because, God forbid, they actually have to put some thought and effort behind selling their house and get strategic with pricing. And the economy, it feels like the economy is giving us all a big old fat middle finger right now, and it is really hard just to keep your head above water in any profession, especially real estate. But it begs to ask the question, are people still buying and selling houses? Friend, yes, they are. And this is what you need to be doing in 2025 so that they can buy and sell from you. Now, first things first, I actually had a conversation with a potential seller the other day, and it had me thinking about how misconstrued the messaging can be for a lot of people right now, especially real estate agents. Because yes, the market looks a lot different. We are battling inflation, interest rates are up. And if you are not careful, you would make yourself believe there is nobody out here transacting. There's nobody out here buying or selling homes. And let me tell you something, that's just not the truth, okay? Anytime I drive around where we live in North Dallas, all I see are homes that are being developed. There are still homes being sold on the MLS. And real talk, I just listed a multi-million-dollar house, and there was a house right next door for sale and a house across the street for sale. And guess what? They are both pending, which means that transactions are still happening. But as a real estate agent, you first have to shift your mindset to understand that we solve a basic need for people, which is housing. So there will always be someone who is looking to buy or sell a home. However, you need to shift your activities to make sure you are doing what's actually working in 2025. Because the reality of the matter is that it does take a lot more grit, it takes a lot more strategy, and it takes a lot more skill in order to survive and continue to thrive in this market. And I'm going to tell you the 5 things that are actually still working in this market so that you can have the business that you desire. So here's the first one, friends. Bestie, for the love, you have to pick up the phone. It is literally impossible. It is absolutely impossible to have a real estate business and think that you do not have to talk to people, to think that you don't have to reach out, to think that you don't have to make the first step and actually lead generate. I recently did a podcast episode and I was talking to an AI guru and I was asking him like, okay, what's next? Like, what do you think that real estate agents really need to be focused on in this new climate, especially with technology and everything? And guess what the AI guy said to me? He was like, agents, y'all not gonna like this answer, but you need to pick up the phone. You need to pick up the phone to talk to the people because, even from something as understanding what the problems are and what your potential clients or your sphere of influence, what they are looking for, you can leverage things like AI to help you, but you need those initial conversations to really understand the mindset of the people that you want to serve. And too often, I'm telling you, in 2025, we want to be lazy. We want to just send text messages all the time, and we want social media to do all the work for us, and we want to chat GPT our way to success. And while yes, I use every one of those tools in my business, nothing trumps that human to human connection. So make sure that you are picking up the phone. Every single day, are you having 5, 10, 20 conversations? Whatever that number is for you, make sure that you are actively reaching out, picking up the phone, and talking to people. Because guess what? It still works. I promise you, it still works. So start picking up the phone if you haven't done it in a while. The next thing that's still working is building relationship on video with social media. Now, we have been talking about social media for the longest, and you know what? It has not gone away. As a matter of fact, I remember doing episodes before where I have shared with you about how authenticity is key. And because of things like ChatGPT, everything is automated. It is so often that, I pick up my phone wondering if it's a real person on the other end. Social media and using video on social media in particular is a way for you to not only demonstrate knowledge, but for people to get to know you on a more personal level. And I'm going to share with you something that I've started doing recently. I am taking to my Facebook and I have gone back to good old Facebook Lives. Yes, I'm talking 2016, 2017, whenever lives were popping, I am back on Facebook and I'm doing lives. And every week or so, I go on and I give sort of a life update. If you follow me on Facebook, feel free to go scroll. It's Rosemary Lewis is my name on Facebook. But I give a little bit of a life update where I just share, just something that's happening with me in life. I might share a tip, a aha moment. I may speak about, like a couple weeks ago, I talked about Mother's Day and what my grief journey was like that day. And I always give some sort of real estate tip or something actually that's happening in market. And what that is doing, okay, is me engaging on a personal level with the person that's holding their phone, and they are now starting to see my life updates happen more frequently. And on a recent video that I did, I really took some time and I started talking about, how for buyers in this market. I know one challenge that buyers have is that in their price point, sometimes they have to go a little bit further out than what they're used to. And I gave a personal story about when my husband and I, when we built our house, and just some things that I learned, and how years later, I'm grateful that I went to the outskirts because now my property values have increased. And lo and behold, there was a comment under there with a potential someone that was in my database long before, but they had kind of fell off. She watched that video and we had her under contract within 45 days. And I know for a fact that happened because I did that video. So start to leverage video, not just the fun dancing or the comical things, but go on there and share a little bit of who you are, share what you have going on, and literally don't overthink it, but building the relationships with video online, it is where it's at. And I mean, like just drop a heart if you feel like me and you real life real estate besties, because we are, okay? Hit the like button, because we real life real estate besties. And that's because we are developing this relationship on social media right now. So if I can do it with you, that means that you need to start doing it with the people that you want to serve as your client. Now, here's a big one that's working right now. Agent to agent referrals. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that you get outside of your little bubble, of your little city and your little brokerage, and you start networking and getting to know other agents. For this reason alone, okay, this is one of many reasons of why I will always have money in my budget to make sure that I am going to real estate conferences, that I am connecting with agents that are in different markets, because to date, I dare to say almost every real estate conference I've ever gone to, like when I get on a plane and I go and I meet other agents, it has turned into a referral opportunity. And friend, I just closed a deal with somebody, with a bestie that saw a video online and connected me with another realtor who had someone coming in my market. And not only did we close and we helped a first-time home buyer, but her mom and her dad are buying too, right? It's because of developing relationships with other agents. So you might say, okay, Rosemary, how do I develop relationships with other agents? Now, here's one. Just start networking within your own community, because I hate to say it, but the statistic is a statistic. 87% of agents will not be in the business over 5 years. And now that I've been in the business over a decade, I will tell you that now my phone starts to ring with people who were real estate agents. They started out with me, but now they have jobs, their licenses inactive. They decided to go a different path, but they still have friends that need to transact, and I get deals from that. Also, I already said it, get on a plane, go to the conference. Speaking of conference, we're having the Real Estate Bestie experience. It is going to be the place to be to meet other real estate besties like yourself. And don't get me wrong, what we are sharing on the conference, like I'll talk to you about that a whole nother day. It's going to be amazing. But probably the biggest reason you want to get in that room is to meet other real estate besties from all over the country, because there's going to be an opportunity for you all to send referrals back and forth to each other and just develop business together. So agent to agent referrals. Now for Real Estate Bestie experience, go to rosemarylewis.com/experience. Tickets are selling though. It's an investment, but you know what? You are worth it, and the people that are going to be in the room are going to be worth it, and you want to get there. So make sure that you are putting yourself in these places and spaces where you're going to meet other people so that you can get those referrals from other agents. You're going to be able to leverage their relationship. Like, think about it. If I have a friend that's moving to Milwaukee and I've been friends with her for 30 years and she calls me to say, okay, Rosemary, who do you know in Milwaukee? Is that you? Right? And my friend is not going to battle my referral. When I say, hey, I know Molly in Milwaukee, you are going to be able to leverage that 30-year friendship as that referral source. So you're not going to have to fight for the listing, fight to, get the buyer representation agreement signed because they trust that other agent. So agent-to-agent referrals are definitely working in 2025. I would say I'm going to die on this hill, but I'm not trying to die. But I will tell you that open houses, they are still where it is at. To this day, open houses are still my number one way to lead generate, especially when it comes to meeting people that I don't know. Now, obviously, yes, I want my sphere of influence. I want my phone to ring for referrals. But before I cold call, before I door knock, I am going to find a bomb listing. I'm going to hold it open and I am going to meet people. And let me tell you, one of the last open houses that I did is interesting because I just saw this couple again at church. Saw this couple, met them at the open house. They were amazing, not quite ready to buy just yet because they were getting ready to get engaged, but they will be ready to purchase next year. Well, I have been keeping in contact with them. I actually introduced them to my church. They got engaged, and girl, I saw them on Sunday and you would have thought that I was their big cousin, the way they hugged me. And I legit think I'm getting invited to the wedding. And if I go to the wedding, you better be sure that I'm going to be the one to sell them a house. And you know where I met them? At an open house, because at open houses, you have an opportunity to develop those relationships, to build rapport, to have that face-to-face connection. And we have already established that in this day and age, face-to-face connection, it's what people desire. So I'm going to encourage you to get open houses on your calendar. If you don't have any business, heck, if you have a lot of business, at least do one per weekend. But if you're really hungry, 2 to 3 per weekend, trust me, you will start to see something turn in your business. And let this be said too, especially with the new buyer compensation rules, you have a lot of potential buyers that are starting their search at an open house. So make sure that you are the person sitting in those houses so that you can meet them. And on the off chance that, no one comes, then guess what? The open house is a great place for you to get content, for you to share the home on your social media, and even do that long form social media video that I talked to you about where you get to build relationships. Open houses are where it's at. And this is the last thing that is really working well, is being very intentional and reaching back to your past clients and showing them that you care for them beyond the sale. Now, you can achieve this in a lot of different ways, but I'm going to suggest to actually have an in-person event that your clients can come to. Now, I get it. This is a tougher economy, and we are really in a place where a lot of people are pulling back. I would rather you take some marketing dollars away from buying leads and, throw a happy hour or throw a party, or even there are some no-cost options. Can you invite all of the women that you've worked with before for a walk, or, something where you can gather together and have those connections and that FaceTime with your past clients. Not only do you get to go deeper on those relationships, which open the door for the opportunity to transact with them again, it opens the door for opportunities for you to be referred out, but it also opens the door and opportunity for you to document these moments on social media so that for that person who's kind of sort of been watching you and seeing how you move in your real estate career, they see that you do these different events for your past clients and you're still staying in touch with them, you're still creating experiences from them, and it is just letting your stock go up in their mind. So making sure that you don't forget, don't be so focused on getting new business that we don't go back and take care of the people who have trusted us previously and go deeper in those relationships. And literally with your past clients, don't be afraid to ask for the business. Anytime I have a client event, I let them know, did you enjoy this? Great. You know how we get to keep doing it? Every single time you remember me and you share with your friends, your coworkers, anyone you come in contact with who may be even thinking about a realtor, that I am the number one choice. That is what affords me the opportunity to continue to create these experiences, right? So don't be ashamed to do that. The more you deposit into somebody, now we have a right to withdraw and to ask for something from them. And this is a great way not to forget them. All of these things, trust me, are definitely working in 2025. And if you want to know, I have a free guide on just 6 steps to get you to 6 figures and to keep the business flowing. Head on over to rosemarylewis.com/6 and you will get that guide. And don't forget, the number one thing that you need to have on your calendar for this year, we're doing the Real Estate Bestie experience in September of 2025 in Frisco, Texas. Head on over to rosemarylewis.com/experience and you will be able to secure your space. I can't wait to see you there, bestie, and I'll talk to you soon.